smile and stay confident. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor here in Mumbai.
I'm Toya Singh joining you live from New Delhi. Let's first walk you through everything we have planned for the show. First, we take you to the secrets that are embedded within body posture, unleashing the inner superhero within you. Firstly, what does the science actually say? Which studies about body language are actually true? What does work for you and what you can do sitting right now at home? The simple tips to boost your confidence on the program, this and more.
Also on the program, we take you inside India's largest cat and dog hospital. For dog lovers, it's absolute bliss, and news coming in from Mumbai, where the Tata Trust has opened its doors for the most refined and the most high-end machinery and available for treating our furry friends, both those in our houses and those on the streets.
I'm on the happiest assignment of my life. So many wagging tails, and they have reasons to smile because this is now India's biggest animal hospital in Mumbai.
And from our furry friends straight to fashion, all of the hottest moments in India Couture Week 2024. We're going to bring you the breakdown. What are the biggest, the greatest looks we saw? Who walked the ramp? The Fashion Gala's key takeaways on TBC.
Also, don't worry, we've got you covered on all your Paris Olympic highlights, where the major focus is going to be on hockey. Indian hockey team reaches the Olympic semi-final now, beat Great Britain, but there is a little twist to this tale. We'll tell you that on the program. Also, we'll bring you Lakshya Sen's secret weapon at the Paris Games. All right, let's start the program by telling you about something that matters to all of us in life, right? Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly felt like somebody's presence was really overpowering? Or in a sense, so confident that you wanted to just listen to that person? Now imagine walking into that big meeting yourself, standing tall with hands on your hips like a superhero character, and suddenly feeling like the world can be conquered. Now, several studies, including Harvard University, has dwelled deep into the concept of power pose, which is typically the Wonder Women of the Super Women pose, where we put our hands on our hips and then fly off to greater heights, quite literally there. Now, the study has details on its potential benefits before a high-stakes social evaluation.
Right, that one pose you're talking about, this one, our audiences may remember it. It went viral a few years ago. 72 million people watched the TED talk about it. But a few years after the concept first went viral, there was actually a reckoning of sorts, where researchers behind the original 2010 study came forward and said that further research made them believe that what they'd said were the power pose's effects may not actually have been real. But we do know that there's a lot of interest, a lot of curiosity around body language and posture. And the science does seem to suggest that there are links between the way that you hold yourself and how you feel. But what is the connection? What is the science? The Breakfast Club breaks it all down for you. We'll bring you all of our guests. Joining us on the broadcast this morning, we have Ridhima Dua. She's an NLP coach who turns body language into an art form. We also have Dr. Kapil Kakkar, a body language expert and psychologist, to help us decode and break down the secrets, the signals. Let's go over to both of them to understand more. Let's go over to each of them. We'll first take our question to Ridhima. Ridhima, can you just explain to our audiences, as we just told them, there was this sort of viral internet flurry around the Superman pose, and there was this thought that this pose will lead to confidence. Then many said, look, the science behind it isn't 100%. So Ridhima, tell us, what does the science show? What does the science say is the connection between your body posture and your emotions?
Sure, Toya. A very good morning to all of the viewers out there. If you all observe that I am also standing and posing like this for all of them to learn as well, right? And there is a difference when it comes to intent. So the science says one of the studies behind the body language, physiology, and the change in the breathing has been done by Dr. John Grinder also. In the years around 1980s to 1990s, he has done a research on how respiration, breathing, and the physiology can change your state of mind. And think about it this way. Supposing if I want to get into a meeting, and when I get into a meeting with just a minute change with the intent that I'm going to be clear. And if I do this for a while, maybe less than 30 seconds, the way my performance would be, because my breathing would change, my physiology would change, and because my breathing and physiology is changing, my state of mind, which is physiology, neurological pathways, and biochemical reaction changes scientifically. And because of that, my performance, the way I am performing, starts changing. It reflects, for the person who is perceiving, it reflects confidence. So that's a study being done by Dr. John Grinder. The book Whispering in the Winds talks about that. And he has met more than 1 million of people and have changed more than 90% of the people who were there in the workshops around it using this science.
Okay. Right. But Ridhima, can I then ask you a counter question? Is
Sure.
confidence something that you can exhibit, or it's just something that you are? I've always wondered, there is nothing that can make the other person seem or feel that I'm confident. It has to come from within.
Yeah, you're truly right. Yes, exactly it is. There are two things into it. Yeah, we have heard about one of the saying, fake it until you make it. A lot of models who start their career, a lot of people in the industry, celebrities who start their career. If you notice, they are practicing a specific body language, which is take your chin up, take your shoulders straight, walk like that with your eyes, right? Until you practice this multiple times. When you practice this multiple times, what's happening is a question. What's happening is your physiology, because your physiology is changing and your breathing is changing, the way your neurochemistry, the way the pathways start developing is you start actually feeling that I do have confidence, and then it starts coming within. But where is it coming from is experience. It's experience. So if I am telling you all that you can be confident like this, it's not about just one time. That's not what I meant. What I meant is a continuous practice towards it with a deep intent changes the neurological pathways which come from our childhood. Yeah. And it's like, oh wow, it can change me. And that's where our whole celebrity industry, if we observe it, like they come from a different background, they have been continually practicing, and people out there in the social media who are influencers also, continuous practice. People in authority in different ways in politics, continuously practicing that changes neurological pathways. It's not only physiology, it changes neurological pathways. Because neurological pathways changes, biochemical reaction means the way the blood will flow inside the body would start changing. That affects and impacts my physiology. Because my physiology is changing, the way I would talk would start changing. Because of that, the way I would perform would also start changing, isn't it?
Okay, let's just go over to Dr. Kapil Kapkar to ask him another aspect of this same question, Ridhima. Dr. Kapil, we've talked about, so far at least with Ridhima, we've talked about 2 or 3 things. So she was showing us this pose. She was also walking us through what walking with good posture looks like. Most of our audiences who are watching this right now are probably sitting already in their seats. And you're sitting for large parts of your day. I just want to ask you, what are the things we can implement in this moment? That's question 1. And question 2, do we have to do the things you're about to tell us through the whole day to see the psychological effects? Do they only last while we're doing the pose? How does the whole thing work?
All right, thank you. So I like to answer it in two ways. The first thing is that we have to understand any external stimuli, yes, be it form of a thought or be it form of a body language or your body gestures, is going to pass the message to your nerve cells in your brain. And that is how your nerve cells are going to command you in turn. So it is very important that we understand that whatever stimuli, consciously or unconsciously, we are giving is how we are going to perform. I'll give you a very small example. For example, patients in bipolar. Now, in bipolar, what happens is for 15 days, a person is up, super active. The body language is absolutely different. The body language is open, he's a go-getter, he's leaning forward, the expressions are exuberant. And the next 15 days, the person goes down. The same person, when he goes down, his shoulders are slumped, and he's brooding, and his body language, facial expressions, everything would change. He gets into a closed body language mode. Now, this shows the impact of nerve cells, the neurons, on us. Now, there are billions of neurons who are communicating through dendrites, right? Now let's do it vice versa. If we are commanding the nerve cells rather than receiving their commands, the things would change. For example, like what you asked me about the exercise and all. Now, if you are squatting with your hands crossed and your hands on your earlobes, and if you do it for 1 minute every day, your brain movement, the nerve cells get a different message, and which makes them more active. It is also suggested every 20 minutes when you are sitting, you need to do some form of exercise, even for a minute. It helps you activate your brain. Otherwise, what happens is every 20 minutes, your brain takes over you, and that is where you might get into that slump, you might get into that non-active or inactive mode. One more thing I just want to, for your viewers, I want to say one more thing. If you're splashing cold water on your face, be it for a minute or be it for a few seconds, you feel alert, right? Why do you feel alert? It is again because of the nerve cells. Something has been communicated to nerve cells. And and one more thing, what is the frequency and what is the intensity of nerve cells when they communicate? It is as quick as the way your electricity moves, your electric current moves. So anything that we are doing in any form, which whatever way it may be, it is going to have a direct impact. So when, for example, now one more thing. Now today being Monday. Now today being Monday, you have Monday blues. Now, if on a Monday you in the morning you are auto-suggesting yourself that it's going to be a good day, it's a new beginning, it's a new week, your whole nerve cells communication would be different rather than, oh my God, after 2 days holiday, now I'm going back to my office. The entire body language, everything is bound to change.
Well, that's good to know, but I wake up every morning thinking that it's going to be a fab day, but I'm not sure how much of an impact it has on most days. But Ridhima, I have a question for you. From what I'm gathering from what you guys are saying is that, the mental mindset coming out in form of physical actions, and the opposite as well, of your physical action sort of telling you about your state of mind. Both of them are related, that's number one. And you're saying one feeds off the other. So the whole concept of having a power pose is that you're on your journey to actually feeling like that. Is that a fair analysis?
With that, having said that, yes. The most important part I would like to reiterate is finding your own way of feeling confident. So there's a study which is also done, and that is about micro muscle movement, right? So a little twitch like this. For example, in a meeting, I may not stand like that and talk, right? That may not be very ecological based on the environment where I am in. I'm meeting team members. I may not stand like this. However, I can also feel if as my muscles have moved and my hands have actually gone there, sending the message to my nervous system, again, very unconsciously, just in a millisecond, that I have a new performance state now, right? So that's one part of it, that can I practice it more deeply with the intent? That's one part of it. Second part of it is, I would also like to mention, in the social media era wherein we see visually any kind of a message coming in through our WhatsApp, email, any of the social media, or we hear someone talking something which is not suitable or not very expected to us, suddenly in a second or less, we just shift, you know. So although I'm feeling very confident and I get a news that someone in my family is not doing well, I might go there. But do I have the power within to take control of myself and get into performance? Okay, what do I do now? Like just now, Toya also just shifted the body. It was into hearing and listening with the confidence. So what do I do now? Yeah. And this also has a great impact, you know, when people, the CEOs, the CTOs, the CHROs, all the executives, when they go into meeting and they are in a meeting, because it's a breakfast show, I think it will make a lot of sense for a lot of viewers to hear this. They're in a meeting, they're listening to all the inputs from the team. There is a real challenge out there. Now, what do? Okay. They're actually taking an observer position on the same chair where they're sitting. And it just shifts their own performance. So there is a lot to talk about it. One is intent, how much we have practiced, and how much do we know about our own selves, the awareness. That's something very, very important. I do have one more thing to talk about. Not copying is the key, right? So someone says, only stand like this. That's one style.
Yeah.
What exhibits your performance? Do you think, or do you think just like that, and you're so natural in your body and you're still feeling that confidence? So it depends, right?
Let me just go over to Dr. Kapil Kakkar and ask him a question then related to this. Dr. Kakkar, I want to ask you, we started the entire discussion by also asking both of you, our experts, how our audiences can tell the difference between the science and the pseudoscience. In this entire area, there are a few different concepts. There's also a concept we haven't discussed till now called visualization, for example, where they say that a number of sports people across the world, for example, a number of our Olympians, they'll imagine everything that happens before it happens. That's supposed to be a positive psychology technique. So for each of these different techniques, A, how can our audience tell what is true, what isn't true? How can we navigate what's reality? And even with these kind of poses, who should we follow? How do we know what works, what doesn't work?
See, whatever is working for you it should be a reality for you. For example, somebody might go for visualization, somebody might go for auto-suggestion, somebody might go for meditation. So whatever technique which is, see, because if you look at it, it has not been scientifically proven these things, but yes, it's been proven that they have a positive impact on a person. Now, how positive the impact is, it will depend from individual to individual, and no individuals are the same because behavior and attitude is dynamic. For example, when you look at people across the world, for example, when you are smiling, now smile is something, or sadness is something which is very natural to people across the world, which is which transcends culture. Now, when you smile, there's something called a mirror neuron. Now, what does that mirror neuron does is, when you smile, the mirror neuron of the other person gets activated, and the other person starts feeling better. So my point is that anything that you are doing, if it suits you, and please remember, visualization may not suit everybody, auto-suggestion which may not suit everybody, that is where it becomes a pseudoscience. But even for the athletes, like I have represented India as a psychologist for World Skills, right? Now, you don't, so my point is there's no thumb rule that one formula is going to have an impact on everyone. Each individual would have a different different formula which one has to create for them.
Okay.
Be it
okay.
to auto-suggestion,
Ridhima, give us some tips now. Give us some tips. It's Monday morning, people are going into work, everybody has big meetings or seminars or get-togethers to attend, and they're feeling slightly edgy about it. Give them 2 or 3 things to do that can sort of up their confidence.
Sure, lovely. So let's attach this also to 3 different things. If I am a visual person more towards, like I see colors, I talk in large things, then this means that I can utilize visualization. And people who are hearing it and they like music, they like to talk in a rhythm, they say, I hear, we will use a different method. Or people who are into more doing, we can use a different method. So let's start with all 3 different methods, which can suit 3 different kind of categories. Or I might be having all of them equally combined, right? So a person who likes to clearly see, and the person who, the moment they hear, I visualize, and they get connected to it, they can visualize themselves just in a very close distance, like this much, that how do I feel confident? They can think about a time when they have been into meetings and they felt like confident, or they can think about a model, an influencer in their own personal life whom they think is so clear and confident. And when they think like it, viewers, if you're thinking like it right now, also in a second, and if you hear it, suddenly your body will start shifting. So shift your body in that posture the way you like confident. So it could be like this, up with your shoulders straight, with your chin up, and being very comfortable with your skin and breathing normally. Now adding the auditory. Now you've shifted your physiology. Now let's add sounds to it. How do you talk to yourself? What do you say to yourself? What clarity is coming? And with that, people who are more into kinesthetic, feeling, touch, they can literally walk with that posture. So with tall, they can walk with the posture like this, or if they like their hands back tight. We have seen authorities with their hands back, rested very well, and they walk with that. Is also a posture of authority for you. If you do it just for less than a minute, you would observe a shift in yourself. That's few of them. And if you're going in a meeting, just do it less than a minute. Maybe you can also use a mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror with that. Be very comfortable with it. That's something very important. And last but not the least, also remember, you can come into an observer position by sitting or standing, looking at yourself. How do I need to perform today? Like this? Okay, let's go ahead. So do simple shifts.
Okay, Ridhima, Dr. Kapoor, thank you so much for distilling everything you have for us. Dr. Kapoor, you distilled the science, told us how to look at it, and Ridhima, you gave us practical things we can actually apply through the rest of our day, through the week, because as you said, it's Monday, we're just starting off the week. Thank you so much for bringing us this knowledge.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
That's right. So it's time to bring out your inner opera and imagine that as you walk into that big, sort of meeting and crack it up, both the physical and mental changes there that you can act up. On that note, we're going to slip into a break. Coming up on the other side, we've got some awesome news for you. This is about our furry friends, our small animals, both in our houses and on the streets, who now have a new destination in Mumbai. All about the Tata Small Animal Hospital coming up on the other side.
Grow Nifty EV and
भाई मैंने भी इस बार SIP करके म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसे डाले तो मुझे ये जानना था कि KYC का चक्कर क्या है।
म्यूचुअल फंड सही है .com या अपने म्यूचुअल फंड की वेबसाइट पे जाओ, पैन नंबर डालो और सिर्फ इतना देखो कि तुम्हारा KYC स्टेटस रजिस्टर्ड है या वैलिडेटेड।
रजिस्टर्ड हो तो?
आधार और पैन कार्ड के साथ अपना केवाईसी वैलिडेट करो, जरूरी है और ज्यादा वक्त भी नहीं लगता।
और वैलिडेटेड हो तो?
सही है।
सही है। माई भाई, अब तक इन्वेस्ट किया ना हो तो?
केवाईसी कर लो और मैदान में उतरो।
सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
Top government sources, in fact, have revealed that the potential bill discussed by the cabinet on Friday evening seeks to repeal several clauses of the current Waqf Act. It is being said this is primarily aimed at reducing the arbitrary powers currently held by the Waqf boards, which allow them to claim any property as Waqf without mandatory verification. The proposed bill is likely to include around 40 amendments and was approved by the Union Cabinet. Like I just said, the Waqf Board has expressed strong displeasure at this development and claims that the government has been targeting the Muslim population with such bills, not now but since the past 10 years. They also urge all Muslims to protest within their constitutional rights. In fact, AIMM chief Asaduddin Owaisi, also leading the charge, has hit out at the central government and says that this is the government's bid to finish Waqf.
दूसरी बात यह है कि बीजेपी शुरू से वक्फ बोर्ड्स और वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टीज के खिलाफ रही है। पार्लियामेंट जब चल रहा है तो सरकार का काम है कि इमीडिएटली आप पार्लियामेंट को इन्फॉर्म करते, बजाय इसके कि आपने मीडिया को लीक किया। प्रपोज अमेंडमेंट से मीडिया में जो लिखा गया है वो इस बात को बताता है कि मोदी हुकूमत वक्फ बोर्ड की ऑटोनॉमी को छीनना चाहती है और वो इंटरफेयर करना चाहती है वाकिफ के मंशे के खिलाफ कि किस तरह से उस वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी को चलाया जाए, और ये खुद फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन के खिलाफ है।
देखिए, हम तो पहले से ही बोलते हैं, हमको बीजेपी की, आरएसएस की नीयत में ही खोट लगती है। इनको हमारी हर चीज से नफरत है। आप देख लीजिए, हमारी मस्जिद से नफरत, नमाज से नफरत, मदरसे से नफरत, हिजाब से नफरत, अब ये वक्फ को लेके आ गए लोग। अरे वक्फ का एक्ट 1995 एग्जिस्टेंस में है, 2013 में उसमें अमेंडमेंट हो चुका है, मगर फिर भी इनको अमेंडमेंट ला के इनकी नीयत एक है कि किसी भी तरह से ये जो वक्फ की इतनी सारी प्रॉपर्टी है मुसलमानों की, उसको कम कर दिया जाए, उसको हासिल कर लिया जाए। अरे ये वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा वंस अ वक्फ ऑलवेज अ वक्फ। आप उसका ना बेच सकते हो, ना थर्ड पार्टी राइट्स क्रिएट कर सकते हो, आप उस पर कुछ नहीं कर सकते।
बड़े अफसोस की बात है कि पिछले 10 सालों में सरकार सिर्फ मुसलमानों के लिए काम कर रही है। कभी ट्रिपल तलाक को लेकर, कभी राम मंदिर को लेकर, ये तमाम चीज़ें जो है मुसलमान के लिए हैं। अफसोस ये है कि पिछले 10 सालों में इस सरकार ने उन हिंदुओं के लिए जिन्होंने भर भर के इसको वोट दिया है, कोई बिल ये लेकर नहीं आए। इसलिए मैं मुसलमानों से अपील करना चाहता हूँ कि मुसलमानों, अपने वक्फ को बचाने के लिए, अपनी मस्जिदों को बचाने के लिए संवैधानिक तरीके से अपना एहतजाज दर्ज कराना पड़ेगा। किसान आए, उन्होंने आंदोलन किया, बिल वापस हो गए। हमें इन बिलों की मुखालफत करनी पड़ेगी, नहीं तो और भी ज़्यादा बिल, इससे सख्त बिल हमारे खिलाफ आ सकते हैं।
Central government has proposed amendments in the Waqf Act, and basically it has said that we'll verify all the claims that has Waqf made on its properties. How do you see that?
A news report has come. Let us see what finally comes before Parliament or in any other legal manner that is envisaged under the Constitution. In any case, with any law, it does not have to be only the Waqf law, any law, if there are reports about the law being misused, if there are reports that the intended objectives are not being met, if there are reports that there can be improvements, that is part of the process of rule of law, that you keep on bringing amendments, changes that would apply generally to anything and everything. So I don't know why it's being politicized. It cannot be seen through a prism of religion. After all, legal rights flow from an act. If that act has certain shortcomings or if there is scope for improvement or
Welcome back to the Breakfast Club. We're taking you now to a super exciting story. Whoever said diamonds are a girl's best friend had clearly never met a dog. If you're already nodding your head along, this story is for you. There's a new hospital in town and it's a space for our four-legged buddies to receive the best treatment. It's the most advanced animal hospital in the country. It's built thanks to the Tata Trust, and Sonal got a chance to see the entire space.
Yes, I'm the lucky one over here who managed to spend a day in that hospital with lots of furry friends. They've only been open for a few months, but they've already become the talk of the town here in Mumbai. It's the most advanced hospital one can dream of in the country. So we decided to take all of you on a tour with us as well. Check it out.
I'm on the happiest assignment of my life. So many wagging tails and they have reasons to smile because this is now India's biggest animal hospital in Mumbai, and we're about to get a full tour of what this place looks like and what the state-of-the-art infrastructure is all about. So let's go in.
Spread across 2.2 acres and built at a cost of 165 crore, the facility is one of India's largest hospitals for dogs, cats, rabbits and other small animals. The USP is having 24/7 emergency service with state-of-the-art equipment that has been brought to India for the very first time.
Go back to the time when the first time the idea of an animal hospital actually came about.
Right. Mr. Tata's own dog Tito was suffering from a particular medical issue which didn't really have a solution that was present in India. So there was a particular freeze the joint kind of solution which was a bit medically advanced for our veterinary care system, and he had to fly him out of the country. So at that point, even though he fixed that situation, it stuck with him that why shouldn't our country have the kind of resources to deal with situations as complex as these, especially with the growing pet population.
So this is like an ICU for cats and dogs?
Cats and dogs, yeah. Okay. This is a mini ICU for the cats and dogs in which we can maintain the temperature as well as the oxygen and the humidity. Whenever they need the oxygen for 24/7, we can keep the dog and cat.
I like that they have little space to move around as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would have to sort of put on
a mask for a 24/7 and they get it irritated with that. So this is like a good space for them. And we can put a dog also here. So this can be removed, and like a big dog also can be
accommodated.
Yeah. And this is the first time in India we have this kind of machine.
I see.
Yeah.
I see a little one over here as well.
Yeah, so this is the ICU. If this one was not in the India, so they used to use this, in which we can a temperature and everything is set, and oxygen can be also provided in that. But this is an advanced one, and but the size is so small, so we can keep only kitten or something, but not for the larger animal.
Tell me something, a lot of times you must be getting strays, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have a name, you don't have an owner.
Yeah.
In those situations, what do you guys do? I saw a name over there which just said Baikula.
Yeah, so whenever they found there, we can give the whatever the place from there, we can give, or otherwise Chintu Mini is the only common name we can give. Or otherwise, any film star name or any cartoon.
So once they are treated, what happens then? Once they are ready to go, but then they are strays.
Whoever the carer who brought to us, we generally call them, and if they pick up the call, we will hand over them or they can directly go to the state like from where they picked up the work. Otherwise, they are with us only.
Oh, wow.
So we have a dicey over here. Like, this is a dicey kitten, like who was bought here for the like a TBI, like a traumatic brain injury, in which she was not peeing or pooping also, but we gave her 10 days and she literally come back with that, and right now she's okay and fine. But yeah, she's ready for adoption. So
That crazy needs a home. If any of you want one, please come take care.
Pastry is an adopted indie, and a naughty one at that. One day at her owner's office, she ended up eating safety pins. Pooja rushed the 3-month-old to the hospital.
So I called up the receptionist via website and they said, yeah, you can get it. I was really freaked out because I was like, what if we have to do like surgery now? Because I was like, maybe that's the only way to get the pins out. If there are more pins, if there are no pins, then okay, good enough. So we got her here. They did the X-ray and they saw that there were more pins inside along with few stones. So they of course suggested that surgery as a last option. But then I said that is something that I want to avoid. So is there a way?
Yeah.
So they've suggested like a diet chart for 5 days, wherein she has to eat like 8 to 9 times a day, which is like a lot. So she's gonna fast them out. So they gave like a proper diet chart which we followed for 5 days. Then I got her here on 5th day. We did the X-ray and it was all clear.
Nice.
So for me, I think what helped is a way to find out that surgery can be avoided.
Mumbai pet parents could not be happier.
I was so tired moving around here and there. It gave me, a sleepless night thinking about 1 month, how can I take care of him? So finally, Ratan Tata has already started an animal hospital. God bless him.
2 डॉग है. पहले मैं वहाँ पे लोकल में दिखाती थी. कुछ भी हो तो थोड़ी चीज़ के लिए एक्सरे वगैरह के लिए बाहर लेके जाना पड़ता था इनको. पर यहाँ पे सारी फैसिलिटीज़ है. सिटी स्कैन है, मल्टी स्पेशलिटी है डॉग्स के लिए, एनिमल्स के लिए. तो यहाँ पे आप अपने बच्चों को एडमिट करके साथ में रह के उनका ध्यान रख के पूरा प्रॉपर ट्रीटमेंट करवा सकते हैं.
The 5-floor Tata Animal Hospital has a capacity for 200 patients. It has advanced diagnostics like MRI, surgical facilities and even pharmacy services all under one roof. And led by Dr. Thomas, a British veterinarian who has relocated to Mumbai for this project.
Tell me the first time you got the call, you were told this is happening. Take us back then.
So I was, it must have been 2020. So it was about a week before COVID happened in the UK. And I was in a car park in Southampton and my mobile phone rang. And because I'm a vet, I always answer my mobile phone. And I picked up the phone and this voice said to me, have you ever considered working in India? And
what a pitch.
I answered the question, yes. No, I said, no, I've never considered it, but I might consider it. And I think it was just serendipity. And after 7 interviews later, here I am 2 years down the line. And we've been very surprised by the level of sickness of animals we're seeing. Some incredibly sick animals. I mean, I've seen maybe 2 or 3 spinal fractures in 20 years. We had 3 or 4 in 1 day here. So, I mean, the level of need is extraordinary.
Let's talk about cost now. It's this entire hospital has come out of a Tata Trust. What is paid, what is unpaid, and what is the footfall like at the moment in that ratio?
So we're a not-for-profit company. So whilst the Tata Trust has given a grant to build the building, my mandate is to make this a self-sustaining hospital. And that means I have to charge fees to some, and then I discount those who need it most.
Did you have a time to sit down with Mr. Ratan Tata? How was that like?
Well, yes. One of my interviews, my final interview was with Mr. Ratan Tata. And it was lovely. It was nice to see and hear him articulate his own vision.
What did he tell you?
He talked at length about his own experience of the healthcare sector, and he was very clear around the difference with what he wants us to do as opposed to what other people have tried to do in the past. And he was very keen on this sustainable unit that looked at not just animals but owners as well, but looked at that unit together. I mean, I don't think you can question his ethics. I think it'd be crazy to do so. But it was a really nice meeting. We have regular interactions. So Mr. Tata is the chair of the board of this hospital. So he's very involved. He's regularly having updates. So he's not just a picture on the screen. He's actively involved in the hospital, which has been really nice for all of the staff to know that this matters to him. Very good.
So we're currently inside the emergency room.
Right now we are admitting with the 18 patient right now. So out of 18 there is a 12 of the pets and 6 are the on those like a pet we are facing. So the common problem remain like in the emergency room we are facing as of now is the like viral short of disease and like automobile injury. Most of them is the automobile injury, some brain infection, brain injury, fracture.
So a lot of strays as well who have been brought in?
Lot of strays. Right now we are having at least 10 strays in house. Right now we are treating them for the severe infection and disease also. So there are some kennels we are doing for the for the large animal facilities, and in there we can keep. Yeah. So this is the thing.
Oh, so that's an emergency.
While interacting with the doctors at the ER, we encountered an emergency case.
क्या हुआ शुभम?
Oh, this tree is vomiting, diarrhea,
Okay.
nauseating,
Okay.
she passed inhalation,
Okay.
loose motion,
Okay.
and then she pulled out.
Just start with the IV fluid. The respiration rate 30, cardiac 140, mucous membrane, ecteric. CMM is more than 2 seconds. It could be good. Good boy, good boy. Just give me the crash. IV can share that.
Okay. Sorry, no. This was sorry, Papa.
A hospital conceived with Mr. Ratan Tata's quest for advanced healthcare for his own dog Tito has now turned into a special go-to place for all the wagging tails in our homes and on the streets. With camera person Prakash and Manas, this is Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor signing off.
All right, so that was a quick view of what is happening inside the small animal hospital, the first of its kind in the country. If you like the story, please ensure that you send us some feedback and we'll tell you more about it, and also several other stories like these.
Whatever happened to the cat? Whatever happened to pastry? There were so many animals I was so invested in over the last few minutes. Sonal, that was quite a journey. Let's take you, our audiences, now from the world of animals to the world of fashion. So we're making a switch. Indian Couture Week has just wrapped up. What a week it's been. We've watched designers push the boundaries of traditional, of modern, blending Indian maximalism with the new emerging Indian modernism, a minimalism that we're seeing in Indian heritage weaving practices and contemporary clean silhouettes.
Now, in the entire Couture Week, it was matched front rows being filled up and decked up with all the stars and artists, showstoppers like Vicky Kaushal, Malaika Arora Khan, and also, actually, beg your pardon, it is Malaika Arora now, and new faces like Vedant Raina, all of them adding their own electric energy to the event. Here's a wrap of all the best things if you missed out from the Couture Week.
Join me. Every year, the fashion world eagerly awaits the India Couture Week, where designers redefine the essence of couture. This isn't just a fashion show. This is a futuristic runway where creativity knows no bounds. From Amit Agrawal's avant-garde silhouettes to J.J. Valaya's intricate embellishments, this year's collections showcase India's growing influence on the global fashion scene. Let's dive into the haute couture realm and explore designs that are set to redefine luxury this year.
Kicking off India Couture Week with a royal spectacle, Abu Jani Sandeep Khosla presented the opulent collections Asal Bride and the Regal Groom of Mard. Asal Bride marries tradition with modernity for the contemporary woman, while the Regal Groom of Mard embraces maximalism and grandeur for today's groom. Featuring exquisite embroideries and innovative silhouettes, these collections celebrate Indian opulence. On day 2 of ICW, Isha Jadodia's Art of Eternity stole the spotlight. Inspired by Paris's allure and nature's beauty, this collection redefined bridal wear with intricate lace, bold silhouettes and timeless chicken curry. Suneet Verma's Nazm, showcased on day 2, illustrated the trend of installation fashion. Featuring hand-embroidered applique work on metallic tissue, organza and chiffon, Verma's unique blouse silhouette stole the spotlight and added a whimsical twist. Kunal Rawal's Sehra collection, celebrating the Indian groom with a contemporary twist, took centre stage. Drawing inspiration from Shubh Muhurat, Rawal's ensembles featured sumptuous silks and intricate threadwork, elevating groom's attire to new heights. Aditya Roy Kapoor, looking regal as a Shahzada, was the showstopper. Amit Agarwal's Antivorta, unveiled at ICW times FTCI 2024, draws from the minute elements that shape our universe. Rahul Mishra's Nargis is a poetic ode to nature inspired by intimate garden moments. With intricate embroidery reminiscent of Mughal gardens, each piece showcases Mishra's dedication to reviving ancient techniques and supporting rural communities. Jayanti Reddy's evocative Nawabi canvas on day 6 was a tribute to Hyderabad's opulent heritage. Featuring intricate embroideries and rich textiles, Reddy brought the grandeur of the Nizams to life. Tarun Tahiliani wowed the audience with his otherworldly collection on day 7. Combining regal elegance with modern comfort, the collection honoured India's rich heritage of craftsmanship. Tahiliani's fusion of traditional techniques and contemporary innovation stood out as a highlight, capturing timeless luxury with a futuristic twist. The grand finale of Hyundai India Couture Week 2024 was a dazzling affair with Vicky Kaushal and Rashmika Mandana gracing the runway for Falguni Sheen Peacock. The Rang Mahal collection, inspired by India's royal heritage, featured intricate embroideries and rich fabrics. The show, a blend of glamour, fashion and star power, was made even grander by the Swadesh initiative by Neeta Ambani's Reliance Foundation, celebrating India's artisans.
And there you have it, folks. A week where India's couture maestros spun magic and brought their A-game to the runway. From the opulent halls of ancient palaces to avant-garde realms of futuristic elegance, India Couture Week 2024 was a sartorial roller coaster that left all of us spellbound. Every stitch, every sequin, every swoosh of fabric told a story of passion, tradition and innovation. And as the lights dimmed and the applause echoed, it was clear couture isn't just about clothes, it's about dreams woven into reality. So until next year, let's keep the glam, the glitz and the gossip alive. Stay stylish, stay fabulous, and remember, life's too short to wear boring clothes.
Alright, it's time for our Olympic special now. The Paris Olympics are in full swing and the excitement is off the charts. We're obviously talking about India, where they beat Great Britain in the first semi-final of the men's hockey competition on Sunday to book a place in the semi-finals of the Paris Olympics 2024. Now, in the semi-final match, India will now face the winner Argentina, a Germany match on the Tuesday, August 6th. But it's not without a catch, since the Indian team is one player down and defender Amit Das received a red card. All this as India is on its quest for a place in the finals after 44 years of waiting. Now, Indian hockey president Dilip Tikre is hoping that the Indian team will continue playing with the same josh and confidence in the hockey semi-finals as well. Listen in.
मैच 10 खिलाड़ियों ने काम किया है और ऐतिहासिक जीत रहा है कि 10 खिलाड़ियों के साथ खेलना, मुझे मालूम है, मैं खिलाड़ी हूँ, 10 खिलाड़ियों के साथ 45 मिनट्स खेलना काफ़ी मुश्किल की बात है, लेकिन सब खिलाड़ियों ने काफ़ी मेहनत की है। डिफेंसिव हॉकी, असली हॉकी उन्होंने दिखाई है और सीरियस भी खेल के दौरान भी कई सारे इंपॉर्टेंट शॉट उन्होंने रोके हैं, कई सारे क्रूशियल शॉट उन्होंने रोके हैं। हम अटैक कर नहीं पाए हैं और एंड हुइसल तक सब ने संभाल के रखा और जब एंड हुइसल बजा तभी जाके मुझे भी राहत आई।
The Olympics are on till the 11th of August, so we've got just 6 days left for our players, our athletes to rack more medals up. Let's take you now to the world of badminton, where the Indian badminton star Lakshya Sen is preparing for the biggest match of his life. And what's his secret weapon? He has his entire family. They're cramped up in an apartment, and home-cooked meals, smoothies are all being dispatched to him every day in Paris. His favorite staple lunch is reportedly this mildly spiced chicken noodle soup. It's made by his mother Nirmala, but he has to coordinate with his nutritionist to make sure all the proportions are correct. Listen in to what his family had to say.
बहुत अच्छा खेला है वो पूरे टूर्नामेंट में। मैं तो खुश हूँ कि सेमीफाइनल खेला और आज भी बड़ा डट के खेला। फर्स्ट आते आते रह गया, शायद दिन नहीं था, तो अपनी ओर से बेस्ट ट्राई किया उसने और सेमीफाइनल तक का सफर तय किया है।
लक्ष्य ने अपनी तरफ से ट्राई किया और कभी कभी मैचेस में ऐसा होता है और अगर जीतता तो डेफिनेटली हम सभी लोगों को खुशी होती। अच्छा लगा कि वो इस पूरे टूर्नामेंट में बहुत फोकस था, बहुत अच्छी तरह से खेल रहा था और उसी की वजह से वो जो उसका स्टाइल ऑफ प्ले था, जो भी वो उससे वो सेमीफाइनल खेला और मतलब उसकी परफॉर्मेंस से हम लोग भी और वो खुद भी मतलब सेटिस्फाई होगा, ये मैं सोचता हूँ।
All right, it's time to bring you our special segment on financial markets powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. Let's start with markets then. The carnage in the global markets continues, with Japanese Nikkei 225 trading nearly 6% lower. Some of the top banks there leading the crash. The circuit breaker triggered in the Japanese bond market as well, and US markets too crashed on Friday. The sell-off in Asian markets on Monday morning will result in a lower opening in the Indian markets as well. Meanwhile, GIFT Nifty suggests an Indian market is opening 1.3% lower. Gold prices are expected to remain strong amidst chaos in the equity market.
Let's look at sectors now. For most banks, loan growth still remains healthy and corporate lending is seeking a revival, but deposits remain a pain point and it could limit future loan growth. Banks with a low credit to deposit ratio are at an advantage, and the story of return on assets expansion is largely behind, though credit quality very much remains pristine. You can log into Money Control Pro to find out more about the banking industry and various other actionable insights on markets. It's the premier destination for all the investing views and financial insights that you're ever going to need, brought to you by Money Control.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on the Monday edition. Like we said, lots of confidence building, lots of smiles building, lots of wagging tails that we brought to you on the program. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again tomorrow.
माई भाई मैंने भी इस बार SIP करके म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसे डाले। तो मुझे ये जानना था कि KYC का चक्कर क्या है।
म्यूचुअल फंड सही है .com या अपने म्यूचुअल फंड की वेबसाइट पे जाओ, पैन नंबर डालो और सिर्फ इतना देखो कि तुम्हारा KYC स्टेटस रजिस्टर्ड है या वैलिडेटेड।
रजिस्टर्ड हो तो
आधार और पैन कार्ड के साथ अपना KYC वैलिडेट करो, जरूरी है और ज्यादा वक्त भी नहीं लगता।
और वैलिडेटेड हो तो
सही है।
सही है माई भाई, अब तक इन्वेस्ट किया ना हो तो
KYC कर लो और मैदान में उतरो।
सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
Top government sources, in fact, have revealed that the potential bill discussed by the cabinet on Friday evening seeks to repeal several clauses of the current Waqf Act. It is being said this is primarily aimed at reducing the arbitrary powers currently held by the Waqf boards, which allow them to claim any property as Waqf without mandatory verification. The proposed bill is likely to include around 40 amendments and was approved by the Union Cabinet. Like I just said, the Waqf board has expressed strong displeasure at this development and claims that the government has been targeting the Muslim population with such bills, not now but since the past 10 years. They also urge all Muslims to protest within their constitutional rights. In fact, AIMM chief Asaduddin Owaisi, also leading the charge, has hit out at the central government and says that this is the government's bid to finish Waqf.
दूसरी बात यह है कि बीजेपी शुरू से वक्फ बोर्ड्स और वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टीज के खिलाफ रही है। पार्लियामेंट जब चल रहा है तो सरकार का काम है कि इमीडिएटली आप पार्लियामेंट को इन्फॉर्म करते, बजाय इसके कि आपने मीडिया को लीक किया। प्रपोज अमेंडमेंट से मीडिया में जो लिखा गया है वो इस बात को बताता है कि मोदी हुकूमत वक्फ बोर्ड की ऑटोनॉमी को छीनना चाहती है और वो इंटरफेयर करना चाहती है वाकिफ के मंशे के खिलाफ कि किस तरह से उस वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी को चलाया जाए, और ये खुद फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन के खिलाफ है।
देखिए, हम तो पहले से ही बोलते हैं, हमको बीजेपी की RSS की नीयत में ही खोट लगती है। इनको हमारी हर चीज से नफरत है। आप देख लीजिए, हमारी मस्जिद से नफरत, नमाज से नफरत, मदरसे से नफरत, हिजाब से नफरत, अब ये वक्फ को लेके आ गए लोग। अरे वक्फ का एक्ट 1995 एग्जिस्टेंस में है, 2013 में उसमें अमेंडमेंट हो चुका है, मगर फिर भी इनको अमेंडमेंट ला के इनकी नीयत एक है कि किसी भी तरह से ये जो वक्फ की इतनी सारी प्रॉपर्टी है मुसलमानों की, उसको कम कर दिया जाए, उसको हासिल कर लिया जाए। अरे ये वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा वंस अ वक्फ ऑलवेज अ वक्फ। आप उसका ना बेच सकते हो, ना थर्ड पार्टी राइट्स क्रिएट कर सकते हो, आप उस पर कुछ नहीं कर सकते।
बड़े अफसोस की बात है कि पिछले 10 सालों में सरकार सिर्फ मुसलमानों के लिए काम कर रही है। कभी ट्रिपल तलाक को लेकर, कभी राम मंदिर को लेकर, ये तमाम चीज़ें जो है मुसलमान के लिए हैं। अफसोस ये है कि पिछले 10 सालों में इस सरकार ने उन हिंदुओं के लिए जिन्होंने भर भर के इसको वोट दिया है, कोई बिल ये लेकर नहीं आए। इसलिए मैं मुसलमानों से अपील करना चाहता हूँ कि मुसलमानों, अपने वक्फ को बचाने के लिए, अपनी मस्जिदों को बचाने के लिए संवैधानिक तरीके से अपना एहतजाज दर्ज कराना पड़ेगा। किसान आए, उन्होंने आंदोलन किया, बिल वापस हो गए। हमें इन बिलों की मुखालफत करनी पड़ेगी, नहीं तो और भी ज़्यादा बिल, इससे सख्त बिल हमारे खिलाफ आ सकते हैं।
Central government has proposed amendments in the Waqf Act, and basically it has said that we'll verify all the claims that has Waqf made on its properties. How do you see that?
A news report has come. Let us see what finally comes before Parliament or in any other legal manner that is envisaged under the Constitution. In any case, with any law, it does not have to be only the Waqf law, any law, if there are reports about the law being misused, if there are reports that the intended objectives are not being met, if there are reports that there can be improvements, that is part of the process of rule of law, that you keep on bringing amendments, changes that would apply generally to anything and everything. So I don't know why it's being politicized.
Hello and a very
very warm welcome to all our viewers. You're watching the morning news show on CNN News 18 and I'm Singh here to walk you through the top headlines from the nation and across the globe over the next 60 minutes. At the top of this segment, we are bringing you big updates with regards to the amendments to be made in the Waqf Act proposed by the central government. Of course, now the centre is all set to overhaul Waqf Act, and as the government prepares to bring an overhaul to the existing Waqf Act, politics over it continues to escalate even further. AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi has hit out at the centre, calling Waqf amendment a conspiracy by the RSS. Samajwadi Party also slammed the move, calling it a diversionary tactic by the BJP and violation of the constitution as well. Now, the Waqf board has strongly opposed the changes, calling it yet another tactic by the centre to target the minority group. Remember, government now plans to move a bill in the parliament that will amend several key clauses of the current Waqf Act and will in fact significantly curb the arbitrary powers of the Waqf board as well. As the move will ensure greater representation of women in Waqf and will also make Waqf boards subject to verification at the same time.
दूसरी बात यह है कि बीजेपी शुरू से वक्फ बोर्ड्स और वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टीज के खिलाफ रही है। पार्लियामेंट जब चल रहा है तो सरकार का काम है कि इमीडिएटली आप पार्लियामेंट को इन्फॉर्म करते, बजाय इसके कि आपने मीडिया को लीक किया। प्रपोज अमेंडमेंट से जो मीडिया में जो लिखा गया है वो इस बात को बताता है कि मोदी हुकूमत वक्फ बोर्ड की ऑटोनॉमी को छीनना चाहती है और वो इंटरफेयर करना चाहती है वाकिफ के मंशे के खिलाफ कि किस तरह से उस वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी को चलाया जाए, और ये खुद फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन के खिलाफ है।
देखिए, वक्फ बोर्ड का जो नियम है, कानून है, वो